56 days ago, Detroit City FC got their last victory. 56 days later, they come away with a big 2-0 victory over a Miami FC team who was creepingly going up the table a little bit.
Yeah, it was. They were very creepily up the table on this very high day where the D index was 96. Oh my!
Oh yeah, but the wind, I'll tell you what, the wind made a factor today and throughout the game. Carlos Herrera just got behind me. He made some fantastic saves down at this end of the pitch. But man, big victory for Detroit City FC today. Let's go over the highlights a little bit.
You're right.
Oh my God, the first goal. First goal of the match. Who got it?
The first goal of the match.
Just before halftime.
Before halftime, one Chelsea Zdeno. Oh my, this was really good. He was going for the individual right here. Touched a little bit to Darren Smith, and he catched it back to Zdeno. Curled over past the Miami goaltender, 1-0.
Beautiful give and go play there for Cedeno and Smith. That's what Detroit City needed, because you figure with the second half, the momentum might have went to, and it did go to Miami's way.
Yeah, right, because the wind was traveling that way.
Yeah, absolutely, and it did go Miami's way in the second half. They regained possession in the second half of play, and regained advantage of possession in the second half of play, thus making it a little bit harder. Carlos Herrera had to come up big.
Oh yeah, he got knocked a couple of times, literally.
As we almost lose the camera there because of the wind.
It's going to be a blooper, man.
I think Herrera, again, like I said.
Thank you.
Amazing save right there. And, and it was what he needed until late in the death.
Oh, yes.
Why aren't they playing this guy?
I don't know, but...
Why aren't they playing Oscar? Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Joe. He had one of the most best individual efforts here. He dunked a couple of a goaltender that passed one to the goaltender, and boom, 2-0. That was the last action.
That was the last action, right at the death. Anta shoot with the goal, and that was just a beautiful setup by Anta, and he just ran right into the 18. Beautiful move. Put it past the goalkeeper earlier though, he stopped Darren Smith.
Oh yeah, I didn't see most of the second half because I was relaxing, trying to catch my butt from this high water. I saw the highlights from where you were standing. Darren Smith corrected. Darren Smith got the correct goal, but the goaltender. The goaltender for Miami really did the job. Danny Gatefield walking by. Darren Smith just walked by us. That's by.
Let me go. Shout out to Danny right there.
Danny, congratulations. Well deserved. Finally, it took a long time to finally get a goal, right? Let's celebrate the guys.
Danny Gatefield right there.
On
the spot. Great victory for them tonight.
And after almost 56 days with the
56 days, believe it or not, 56 days. What a victory for Detroit City FC.
With the frustrations going over, you're saying, oh my God, this is not going to turn out well.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Miami, perfect. And if they tie for any of the playoff position, we get the tiebreaker.
Yep. So, I mean, big victory for Detroit City today as far as this, standing goes. And like I said, this was a much-needed game for Detroit City to have.
And we got 3 points. We are close by 3 points to North Carolina, who upset Louisville last night.
Absolutely, and both goals coming in at the near end of the half.
I know.
As
daily double, as they say in the horse racing track.
Pretty much. So both goals coming at the end of the half.
We're behind 3 points. North Carolina, who played last night. Charleston Battery is playing tonight.
Absolutely. So I mean.
And by the way, 2 more goals to Prideraiser.
Absolutely, 2 more goals to Prideraiser.
Prideraiser.
2 more goals to Prideraiser. We'll just total it all up after we're done with the AFC Ann Arbor game.
And I'm gonna have to depart because I have another engagement. But I'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday. Maybe.
Absolutely. We'll be doing soccer night in Detroit here on Wednesday.
Okay.
As I'm going to go down to Toledo to cover the women's match, and he's going to stay here. He's going to give us a recap of the international friendly that will be taking place against Santos Laguna on Wednesday night. If you haven't got tickets yet for that one, DeadCityFC.com for tickets,
CityGeek.com. Free VP right there, yes. Yeah. But hey, since I mentioned Charlotte Battery, you know what we're about to do?
Yes, let's go around the sea. There's plenty of action to take place. Seven more games going on tonight in the USL Championship. Let's go around the sea.
And I'll see you next week.
Defensively, 5 clean sheets. They're amongst the top in the USL Championship.
Comes wide, now the cross, it's Williams! 2 goals in the first 20 minutes for Pittsburgh. And for the first time since opening week.
Played up ahead. It's Jennings. Jennings looks to center, cuts it back, fiddling through the middle, in front, rolled in!
Foster again. Collier and flag stays down. Stojanovic was onside. Timed the run perfectly. 2 defenders got in the way. Not done yet. Sitting at the edge of the 18. Pickering gives it to Vegas in the 90th minute. The 20-year-old gets the goal for Las Vegas.
Rolo Lopez delivers. Put Sacramento in front, and now they're on the front foot again here. Cicerone had space to run into, and Parato's unoccupied. 2-0, Sacramento. Well, not for the first time tonight. Rhode Island completely caught out on this near side. And you
into production with wins, goals, assists. So Mark Briggs, what buttons can he press?
One hopper comes out of the foot. Good stop. I'm McIntosh.
He moves so fast. Does Michele Akale. Into stoppage time we go. Gaines sends the cross in. Fernando hands home at the back post. The Kings of Chaos strike again.
He's got 9 goals this season. Campuzano leads USL Championship in saves. A huge moment. Cabrera scores and quiets the crowd at Cardinale Stadium.
$1,450.69 has been pledged per goal this year for Prideraiser. The 9 goals equal $13,056 raised for the Root Fellas Center in Detroit and in Highland Park. You can scan the QR codes at the top of the screen to make your donation. And for more information, contact ngs.prideraiser.org.
It seems like AFC Ann Arbor has Detroit's number for I mean, in layman's terms, that's how you estimate it here. But the only 2 blemishes on the year thus far for Detroit City FC have come at the expense of AFC Ann Arbor, and it was no exception tonight as we look at the highlights there. Going into the 36th minute of play, corner kick, Hannah Crum sets herself up in the corner. Goes right into the box. Acadia Murphy somehow finds this off the rebound and puts it in the back of the net. Detroit City with the lead by a score of 1-0 in the 36th minute of play. The lead would not last long, however. Mariana Beretta puts a banger from outside the box, putting AFC equalized with Detroit City in the 41st minute of play. And the score at that point, 1-1. couple minutes later, 44th minute of play, Detroit City has an opportunity to clear the ball, and unfortunately didn't make it past half field. Beretta again, this time also from outside the 18, puts it in the back of the net. Final score, Detroit City 2, AFC Ann Arbor 2, Detroit City 1. It seemed like Detroit City just basically was outmatched, outplayed, out-hustled, and, once Ann Arbor took the lead, though, they dictated the play throughout most of the second half. A couple opportunities here and there for Detroit City FC came to no avail, and AFC Ann Arbor did the job once again against Detroit City FC. What does this mean now going forward? Well, Detroit City FC travels to Toledo to take on Toledo Villa on Wednesday night. AFC Ann Arbor takes on Midwest United also on Wednesday night there over at Barnable Field up in Romeo. Saturday, Detroit City travels to Kalamazoo to take on Kalamazoo FC, Mayor's Riverfront Park, also a 7 o'clock kickoff. The end of the season is on a Sunday in Ann Arbor as Toledo Villa visits Holloway Field to take on AFC Ann Arbor. That's a 3 o'clock kick there. So it's come down to this. Detroit City right now is 1 point behind AFC Ann Arbor in the race for the top spot of the Great Lakes Division. Now, should Detroit City win, AFC Ann Arbor lose, they'll be tied at points. And right now, the tiebreaker goes to AFC Ann Arbor. So very well, it could come down to the last match of the season, barring anything. If Detroit, like I said, if Detroit City wins on Wednesday night, that means they will make up the 2 points, and then it gets really screwy from there. So, but all we know is AFC Ann Arbor does have the tiebreaker, though, and what Detroit City has to do basically right now is win out and hope the chips fall where they may. Maybe a couple favorable results coming from the 2 games coming up in Romeo and in Ann Arbor especially. So, other sobering news as we come to the sobering part of this video here. Ben Morris out for the season for Detroit City FC's men. He tore an ACL in training this week, so he will not be available for the rest of the season. Unfortunate for him after a 10-goal performance last year, and he seemed to be coming back on his own after the win. After scoring a goal in Loudon last week in the 2-1 loss to them, but unfortunate injury during training will sideline him for the rest of the season for Detroit City FC. So huge loss there. It'll be interesting to see who will be taking his place, as a big key to that front line is going to be missing for the time being. So we talked with Dave Dwahey after this frustrating, disappointing loss here at Keyworth. Here's what he had to say. All right, Dave Dwahey here after a disappointing loss tonight against a very tough Ann Arbor squad again. Little reminders of what we saw in Ann Arbor the first of the season, and it reared its ugly head tonight.
Yeah, the game played out in a eerily similar way, didn't it? We took the lead a little earlier this time, but man, they just had like 5 really good minutes right before halftime. It's unfortunate that we didn't get out with the lead or even a tie, but hey, that's the game. They're a very good team, and I think they are kind of designed to give us trouble, and they showed it tonight. They play really well in line with their game plan, and they executed, and they finished a couple of chances. And hey, it's a learning experience for us, and as I told the women afterward, we've been here before after an Ann Arbor game, and we were in the dumps a month ago, and we're a little bit down tonight, but look how we responded that first time, and we have a week to respond here. 2 huge games, 2 must wins now if we want to have a chance, but hopefully Union Macomb or Toledo can help us out a little bit. And
that game being at Barnable Field, I believe this Wednesday, the game between Ann Arbor and
I think
Union FC Macomb, I believe it is this Wednesday, same day as the match that you're going to be playing next, and that's against Toledo Villa.
Yep.
And handled them quite easily the first time around, 6-0. Then they've come up with a couple little mild upsets along the way there, but nonetheless, I mean, it's just easily, bounce back game, you hope?
Yeah, I hope so. We hope to get a couple players back in. We'll get Tot back in. Hopefully Abby Worthman gets some good news on her injury situation. We played very well and I should say we played very hard tonight. It was hard to play well. The game was a little bit, the flow of the game was constantly getting interrupted. The heat and the wind were factors, and we just never really got it going. But I give the women a lot of credit.
It seemed like Ann Arbor wanted to clog the play more,
Yeah.
slow the tempo down a little bit more, and we were used to that. Not having Sophia Romine out there was a huge difference out there, and not having Tatiana Mason. Those were two big cogs missing from the lineup tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought the players that played in their place did a great job stepping up. But you get used to a certain rhythm with certain players, and when that gets interrupted, it's tough. But no excuses. You got to give Ann Arbor a lot of credit. They came in and they got the result they needed. We're hoping that between Union Macomb and Toledo, maybe they can help us. But we got a big job to do ourselves. If we could come through this week and get 2 wins, going to Kalamazoo is always very difficult. I'd be thrilled. So that's kind of our objective right now. Finish the season with 2 great results and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, and the season will end on Sunday as Toledo will be going to Ann Arbor for a 3:00 matchup with them. So the thing is pretty much press on, keep on hoping, and hopefully something will fall in the coming week. Whether they drop a point, whether they end up dropping points there, and then you manage to get up 1 point higher than them. The matter is just finish this thing out.
That's right. Put them in a position where they feel the pressure, and it starts Wednesday. So got a training session scheduled for Monday. Hopefully we can kind of get our rhythm back, find our groove again. We had found it. We were in an amazing run, and sometimes those runs get interrupted, and that's the nature of the game. So we'll see what kind of character we've got. I have a feeling we've got the ability to bounce back from this. We've got an amazing group, and they're fantastic people, so they'll figure this out.
And none of the fall of Allison LaPointe tonight. I mean, those were just 2 banger of goals by Beretta. There was 2 bangers of a goal there.
Yep.
And the one coming, just outside the box, way back, back here, probably about, 25 yards out or so like that. Unfortunately, it was off a turnover in your own end. I mean, capitalizing. I mean, mistakes like that. I mean, that could be the big difference in games, especially against teams against the top echelon in this conference.
Yeah. Sometimes you get punished for those mistakes. I wouldn't have it any other way. We're trying to play the right way, and sometimes the ball gets a little touch on someone and it ends up in the back of your net. But hopefully over the course of the season, every moment like that, you get a moment yourself where you maybe capitalize on another team's mistake, and hopefully we have a little bit of that ahead of us in the next week.
We're hoping so. So big game coming up in Toledo this coming Wednesday. As I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the men's game, I'll be down in Toledo. We're doing soccer night in Detroit here first, but I'll be down in Toledo watching this team go at it in a very important game coming up on Wednesday night. Catch that game on Sports Engine Play if you're not able to. Come on down there to Toledo. So I know there's a big game here on Wednesday night, some kind of international friendly that's going on with the men's.
Going to that, for sure.
And if you're going to the international friendly, pop on Sports Engine Play and give a look at the women's game.
From afar. Yeah.
Yes, follow us from afar. But for this guy, tough loss tonight. But hey, gotta get back to grinding, and they start grinding for a big game against Toledo Villa this Wednesday from University of Toledo, Paul Hopman Field, I believe that's the name of the field. So we will see you from Toledo. Until then, folks, keep your feet in the ground, keep reaching for the galaxy.